Okay. And Nancy's joining us too, looks like. Okay, cool. So we have three of you on right now, and there might be more people coming on shortly. But we'll go ahead and get started right now since it is 7:02. So welcome to the LinkedIn Mastery Course group call. And to open it up, I do like to just kind of open up by kind of going around asking about your experience right now, and then opening it up for any questions that you have. So let's start with that. So Sukanya, do you want to go first? Just let me know like what's going on, if you have any questions, how I can help.
Yeah, I don't have any questions at the moment. I'll be honest. I didn't work on it as much as I should have worked on it this week and getting stuff done. So I'm a little behind on it.
Any areas that you want to learn more about that you want me to cover right now?
No, because what I'm going to do is once I get this, I mean, what I'm going to end up, okay, I guess here's my question. We have my LinkedIn page, and then my husband has his LinkedIn page.
Yep.
Okay. Should we have one that is a business one?
A business one for the casino business?
Yes. Or should we just work off of ours?
Oh, no, well, you should work off of yours.
Okay.
So especially your profile. I would focus that as that's where you're going to essentially focus on. You should have a company page, and I can show you that briefly tonight. I can just show you how to create one really quickly. I wouldn't focus on like regularly putting in content on your company page. It's actually not as valuable as it used to be, I would say, right now. With when Microsoft took over, they kind of downplayed the company pages, at least for now. And it might change down the road. But yeah, definitely focus on your personal page. But you should create a company page because when you put in your work experience, if you've created a company page and you put in your company name, it'll let you put your logo in there, and it'll just make it searchable too. So you're going to want to create a company page, and I'll cover that tonight. But yeah, you're going to focus most of your efforts on your personal page, though.
Okay. Okay.
Cool. And then Nancy, can you hear me? I see Nancy on the call. I don't know if she can hear me, and I can't see her. Well, we'll come back to her. Marla, can you still hear me?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so why don't you tell me about your experience, and then also if you have any burning questions, or if you don't, what you'd like to focus on tonight.
Well, I'm just learning so much from the videos, and I'm fascinated by the people who are responding, and I'm getting those emails from different people with their own requests, and so I'm learning that when people are just asking you to ask you for your business without establishing a relationship, I'm now understanding the difference. I had one nice person who really just was invited a French connection, and then an old coworker who wanted something from me. But it's real interesting that I'm learning what you all are talking about and loving the videos and just learning a lot. So thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you mentioned that, but I do talk a lot about that whole concept of inbound marketing. Because, yeah, if you get on LinkedIn, the more connections you have, the more of those messages you're going to get from people that are kind of just, they approach the messenger as a me first kind of attitude. So there's a lot of people that will message me and they'll ask me to sign up for their service, or they'll ask me to do something for them without doing anything to establish the relationship first. And, it just 99% of the time, that just doesn't work. Probably 99.9% of the time, that doesn't work. So it's all about establishing value first, and also coming from it from a perspective that you are empathetic and that you understand the other person's plight and that you want to help them is definitely going to help you to make a stronger connection. And then business can be done in the future. Once you're coming at it from a standpoint of value first for the other person. So cool. Yes. Nancy, can you hear us yet?
Yeah, I can hear you.
There we are. Hey, how are you?
All righty. Sorry, I've been out of commission. I did surgery last week on my mouth. I'm missing what videos are you, how do we get hold of these videos?
The videos are in the course, so I sent you a. I'll help you with that, or actually I can walk you through that. I sent you an email that you would have gotten with the creating your course login.
Okay, I was probably out of commission.
Okay, so you might have been out of commission for that. So
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
so you can't find that, let's talk about that after the call. But if you
Okay.
can't find that, I'll send it again.
Okay, that'd be great. Yeah.
But basically, there's a course login. I'll send you I'll send it again anyway. It'll let you create a login, and then in the course, there's a lot of videos teaching you how to use LinkedIn for Business, and it's kind of a whole membership website.
Wonderful. Okay.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so let's jump in here. I'm gonna go into my screen share. I think this is the one. There we go. Can you all see my screen now?
Yes.
Awesome.
No.
Who said no?
Nancy.
You can't see my screen?
No.
Okay. How are you connected? Are you on your phone or are you on your computer? Or?
I'm on my computer on Zoom.
Okay.
I see you.
Okay.
Yes.
You don't see you don't see the screen, like there's link. We don't see LinkedIn on the screen anymore.
No. Let's see. It has a bunch of people that it says people you may know.
Yeah, that's my screen. That's my screen though. No, showing-
Oh, okay. That's your screen. Okay.
Cool.
All right. Gotcha. All right.
Gotcha. Okay. So for starters, I did want to. This is a good topic, and there is a video in the course about how to create a company page, but I will kind of just demo that real fast here because it is important that especially if you're a business owner, you should have a company page for your business purely from a branding standpoint. And if I come down, that's new, this little thing here. But if I come down, you'll see like here, this is, it says my business, Coaching Biz Mastery. I have a picture of the logo right there. And if I go down a little bit further, I have the same thing kind of for LinkedIn Mastery course. I have the logo in here. And the only way to have your logo display in your work experience is to have a company page. So to do that, let me see here. Now I got to remember now. What was the work? There it is. So to create a company page, you click on this work icon with the 9 little boxes. And then at the very bottom, you scroll down just a little bit. At the very bottom here, you have create a company page. So you'll go through this. You go through this process. And I'll go ahead and create one just for a demo purpose. I am creating a Facebook course. That's like something I'm working on. So I'll go ahead and create it. Why not? Even though the course is still in process. But basically, to create a company page, you're going to start with simply putting in the company name and then setting up your URL. So you get a custom URL just like you would with your personal profile. And your URL should ideally be your company name. If your company name is taken, then you're going to want to just add an extra word to it. So I don't think any of you are going to have that problem, but so either use your company name here or add like the number 1 or add just an extra word. Like I could, if Facebook Mastery course was taken, I could put Facebook Mastery course online or something like that to make it work if this was taken. So then I'll just click on Create Page, and you'll get this message here. Let's see here. We look forward to helping you get started. Page is designed to help you better manage your company brand, and they kind of give you the benefits right here. And I think some of this may have been newly added back by Microsoft because for a while, they really, really downplayed the company page for a while. But again, the main thing is you're making an impression by having your logo and cover photo. If somebody wants to click and learn more about your business, Let's see here. You're giving candidates full context if you're hiring. So I don't know if anyone here is looking to hire employees, but it definitely adds a legitimacy factor if you are looking to hire people, that they can look at your company page. They know you're a legit company. That helps. Or maybe even hiring interns, something like that too. It's going to help validate your business. And on the bottom here, if you want to have an international presence, so don't forget to set your company name and company description in each language that you're targeting. So I haven't been doing too much internationally yet, although Andros just moved to the Netherlands. So we're still in communication, but he's not going to be on these calls for a while since it's 4 a.m. over there right now. So I would hope he's sleeping. But let's click on Get Started here. So like this page is kind of similar to your profile. We're going to create a background photo. We're going to create a logo, and ultimately we're going to go through and put in our company description. We're going to add specialties. These are just like the skills on your personal page. So here, if I have a specialty like social media marketing or something, I would add it in just like if it was on my personal page. And then you're going to put in your address, your website URL, company size, year founded, company type. And you kind of just go through this. So any questions about that first process here on creating a company page?
No.
Okay. So yeah, a lot of this you just kind of do yourself, and it's pretty self-explanatory. But the main thing is kind of knowing where to go. So you're going to click on where that section on the top right there. It says work, and then and then at the bottom of that is where you go to create company page. And I think once you get to that, you'll be able to pretty much self-navigate. Now on the company page, once you've created it, it does allow you to track analytics. Like you can look at your visitors, you can look at your followers. So it does give you those admin tools. But again, company pages are not nearly as much followed as personal pages. So, and I think it's part of the era that we live in. In 2017, more people are interested in connecting with brands, with the owners of brands, more so than companies these days. And that's one of the reasons why people like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and some of these, I know they're kind of the big shot names, but some of the tech heads are more popular as far as following them on a platform like LinkedIn than they are the actual brands. So I would say focus your content play primarily on your personal page, but definitely have the company page to validate your brand and to have your logo show up inside of your work experience. And then let's see here. Move this. Well, let's see if it'll let me publish. Good. So I'm just going to publish that, and I'll finish this at a later time. But let's any other questions that are popping up that you want me to cover while you have me on the line first off before I start teaching on something specific?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So we got in a little bit on the last call. Remind me, Sukanya, we started talking a little bit about the search engine marketing. I think I showed you that software SEMrush, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I wanted to kind of go into that a little bit deeper, since that's something there's not a ton of material in the online course about that, and that's kind of supplementary to what we're doing, but I think it adds value to talk about it. So when a couple different things. So when you're creating your profile, you want your profile to be ranking for what people are already searching for on Google specifically, because all of us here are business owners and we're driving traffic we're wanting to drive clients to our profile to then contact us. So I know Nancy wasn't on the call last week, and we only went through this briefly, but again, I'm going to recommend you go to a website called SEMrush.com. And let's see. I guess I'll log in like this. And what you can do with this is a competitive analysis tool. So you can either look at a competitor's web traffic, and you can also look at what your competitors are ranking for in terms of keywords, and also what your competitors are posting in terms of ads on through Google. And then you can also just type in a set of keywords. So if there's a keyword that you think that you want to know who is ranking for it, we can also get data around that. So I think I want to go a little further on what we started talking about Sukanya, but we started looking up like we talked about casino. Was it like mobile casino, or what was the word we looked up last time?
Was it casino parties?
Yeah, I think that was it, casino parties. So, and I also just picked up a new tool that I want to show you guys as well. But let's see here. So we talked a little bit about it. So again, I'm just going to kind of go over this again. Some of this will be repetition, but this stuff takes a little bit of time to learn anyway. So I think it's valuable still. So what I've done here is I've gone into SEMrush. I've typed in the keyword casino parties. That's treated as a single keyword chain. And by doing that, I can look and see how often people are searching each month in Google. So here we can see that there's not a ton of searches. There's 390 searches organically each month on Google for the term casino parties. If I scroll down here, they have this feature called phrase matching, and this looks for similar keywords that are getting more traffic. And I think we talked about this last week too, but we have jackpot party casino is a term that's driving 49,500 organic searches each month. So that is something, that's a keyword term that if you were going to run paid advertising for, you might want to advertise against a term like that because it's getting a lot of traffic. And what we can see here, this stands for cost per click. So this shows that you could if you ended up running ads on this, you could end up getting 52 cents a click. And I am going to go here to the full report.
You know why that one gets so much? It's because it's an actual, like it's an online casino company. Jackpot Party Casino. It's an actual online, because that's why they get so many. They do like online slots and stuff.
Okay. Well, then this might be more relevant. So I went to the kind of the bigger list here, and we can see that like Casino Party Rentals has 1,000 searches a month. So it's not as many, but that's definitely a significant volume. So we're getting 1,000 searches on Casino Party Rentals, and then there's also Casino Party is getting 1,000 separate searches each month. So that's something that you could look into. These two, but ideally we're looking for terms that have a significant volume, and then we're going to put them into our LinkedIn profile, so that if with the theory that if people are searching for these terms on Google, they're also going to be searching for them in other social media networks, including LinkedIn. So if you're looking to hire, if I'm somebody looking to hire a casino party rental company, I might type that into Google, but if my LinkedIn profile is ranking for it, my LinkedIn profile can actually populate in that Google search result. Also, sometimes people will go directly on LinkedIn, and then in the search bar, they might type in casino party rental. And if my LinkedIn profile is positioned correctly by having this in the summary and ranking for that keyword, then I'm going to be one of the only profiles that's going to populate for that term. So we're wanting to position ourselves so that our LinkedIn is going to show up in Google, and then our LinkedIn is going to show up in organic LinkedIn searches as well. So is that all making sense?
Yes.
Okay. So let's look at Casino Party Rentals a little more in depth here. So for the purpose of this, let's just borrow this. Let's just focus on this term. if I had more time, and I would probably keep continuing to do research to find one that has a little bit more traffic. But this is a decent starting point. So we can see casino party rentals. Now, we talked about the word cloud a little bit in the at least in the live course. We talked about the word cloud, and it's in the membership site for the videos.
Mm-hmm.
But what we'd want ideally is that if we were going to do a word cloud, I would want to see casino party rentals coming up in that word cloud. So those are the terms that I would want to actually show up in the word cloud, and I would want your profile to rank for that. So the key to ranking for a keyword is really repetition, and the second key is organic languaging. So when I go through my profile, if I was going to do something like yours, I'd want to make sure that I'm repeating that keyword as often as I can while also keeping the language natural. So that could look like, what's the name of your company again?
Casino Kings.
Casino Kings. So that could look like Casino Kings specializes in casino party rentals, and has been in business, and has been in the casino party rental business for X number of years. So that way you're using it twice right off the bat. And then as you continue along, you could do here's a list of the casino rental services or casino party rental services that we offer. So as you kind of go down, you're going to have it again like that. And then you start listing off the different casino games. And ideally, you're filling out this entire 2,000 words inside the summary section, and you're creating a keyword optimized summary so that, again, when somebody searches you on Google or if somebody comes up to this top LinkedIn search bar, that they're going to be able to find your business. So right now, if I type in casino party rentals, and it might be, do you have that listed on your profile right now?
I do not. I just created the company page, though.
Okay.
Kind of. I mean, I didn't finish it, but it's there now.
But ideally, you would show up here. So if I'm searching for casino party rentals, you would be the only, because nobody in my first degree network is popping up for that. The only people that are popping up for that are in my second or third degree networks. But ideally, you'd be showing up for that. So here's like somebody casino games dealer at South Bay Party Rentals. So these are people. As you can see, how if I wanted to hire a casino party rental company, all I would have to do is search here, and I could find companies like this.
Okay.
Now, let me see if the company page is popping up. And the same principles apply to your company page as far as search engine ranking goes. So when you're creating your company page, I would encourage you, when you're doing the description, to, again, you're going to want to feature this kind of languaging as often as possible while keeping it natural, so that if somebody comes along and searches this and they go to this page here, it says searching companies, that your company is going to populate on this list. Right now, I'm not seeing it. It might be that you just created it. It might just take some time to kind of to show up in the search rankings and to get indexed. But that kind of gives you an example. So is this all making sense again? I know some of it's like repetition from last week, but this is really important. This is one of the most important things on LinkedIn, is to make sure that you're ranking for the right keywords. So how are you doing, Marla?
Awesome. I really appreciate your going over these things again. I get a deeper meaning to it.
Okay. And are we all familiar with word clouds? Did you want me to just kind of show you that one more time?
Please.
Yeah.
Let's do that real quick. So if I wanted to get a word cloud on my profile, so you want to do this exact procedure, because this is the fastest way to do it. You're going to want to so you want to click on the Me button. You want to click on View Profile. It's going to take you to this page here. You're going to click on the ellipsis here, so the 3 dots, and you're going to want to save your profile as a PDF. So you'll click on this to save the PDF, and the reason you do this is only because it'll give me all the text from my entire profile in one spot, so I can grab all the text instead of, otherwise I'd have to go like pretty much line by line and kind of copy and paste, and then I'd have to open this up and try to get all this text, and then I'd have to scroll down here and get all this text, etc. But when I do that, when I grab it as a PDF, I just click on the PDF. And are you seeing this right now, the PDF?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And it gives me my entire profile text all in one single document. So all I have to do is press the key is Control A. So you're pressing the buttons Control A like Apple, and that'll highlight all the text right here. And then you just press Control C, and that'll copy all the text. And then I just paste it into the word cloud. And so the word cloud, again, is wordclouds, so with an S on the end, .com. So I come to this website, I click on the file button, and then I scroll down to where it says paste/type text. So I just click here where it says paste type text, and now I just paste in, whoop, didn't copy over. Come back here. And then I just paste in my entire profile. So now all the text from my profile has been copied and pasted here. And all I have to do is click apply, and then it'll create a word cloud for me, which again is it's a visual representation of your profile data. But what's nice about it is it's essentially showing you how a computer algorithm would see your profile. So you're essentially, what you're doing is you're getting the keywords that are most prevalent to show up biggest here. And this is kind of showing you what you're known for. So ideally you should do this now with your current, whatever you have in your profile, you should do one of these now. And then you should make a goal on what you want to be known for. So you should actually ask yourself that question: what do I want to be known for? What do I want my brand to be known for? As well as doing some of the research, like I was showing you the tools like SEMrush, kind of doing competitive analysis research, and then redoing your profile and then redoing this process so that you're ranked for what you want to be ranked for. So now you can see that for mine, I'm ranked for marketing is very large here. I'm ranked for LinkedIn, online, Facebook, business, Infusionsoft, Mastery, media. Those are the things I want to be known for. And those are also the terms that are coming up most often. So this is it's a great way of visualizing your data. It's not a perfect science by any means, but it's going to show you 95% of how a computer would see your profile, and that's what we're wanting to do. Is we're basically wanting to see how often we're having our keywords populate, and how a computer would look at our profile. So. Is that all making sense to everybody?
Yes.
And if you don't like the shape that I have here, you can actually just come up here. I can click on shape, and I can make my word cloud into any of these shapes. Like they have a Pac-Man, they have a happy face. Here's like a kitty cat. So I can make mine into a cat.
Oh, cool.
Kind of fun, but it's a way of visualizing the data, and it's really important to understand how if somebody is searching, how you're going to be known inside of a computer program, essentially. Okay, so we're all following there, right? Any questions coming up about the word clouds or about the keyword stuff?
No.
Nope, got it now.
Awesome. So one other thing that I just wanted to hit on is this section here on the bottom of the summary section. It's called media. It's called rich media. It's also going to show up in the bottom of all your employment sections. So if I work on my experience section, every one of these will have a section for media as well. So these kind of things are not to be ignored. And so I do want to talk a little bit about media. So if you have a company website, which I'm sure, I believe the majority of you do, or you have if you have like a PDF document that you share with people, or if you have like a list of your services that's on a PDF or something like that, or a brochure, you can attach those documents here. And it'll help in two ways. It'll make your profile a little bit richer. It'll give more content. It'll also, if somebody's scrolling through and they're serious about contacting you, they might open it up and look at your brochure if you're putting in that here, or they might click and go directly to your website. Like if I click here, this will take me directly to my website. But it also will take the keywords inside of certain media, and it'll help rank for that as well. So it just adds a small layer of additional keyword ranking, and that doesn't actually show up in the word cloud, but it does count in terms of a search algorithm. So that's so like I said, the word cloud's not a perfect science, but it's 90% of the way there, 95% of the way there. So I would encourage each of you to add what's this rich media to your profiles, and to do that, just as a reminder, you'd go through your summary section, and then you go through your experience. But you'd start with the summary. And anytime you want to edit your summary, you simply come to the top of your page and click the pencil icon here, or the pen icon, whatever that is. And I would say make sure that you have this turned off. Is highly recommended, that you're not sharing your profile changes. If you don't have that turned off, anytime you make a simple change, it'll notify your entire network. And that's not the worst thing, but if you're making all kinds of changes, it might annoy people. And then if you have some things that you're still adjusting and they're not quite finished, people they might look at your unfinished product also. So I would encourage you to turn this off on sharing your profile changes, unless you're making like one major change. But if you're making several, if you're making like revamping your whole profile, definitely turn this off so you're not notifying people every time you make a small change. But if I scroll to the bottom here, this is so scrolling down, here's my summary section that I've written out. This is the 2,000 character section that's helping me rank. If I scroll down further, I have this section called Rich Media, or Media. And here I can upload files. So this can be, again, it can be documents. It could be videos too. So if you have a video, like if you have a commercial or something for your company, or any kind of video that you've created, you can upload it here. And you can also upload like PowerPoint presentations, things of that nature. So all this stuff just kind of enriches your profile, and then also having links to your personal websites is also going to make it easier for somebody to click and then go directly to your website. So I would encourage you to use this section to make that, to have 2 or 3 pieces of rich media that are going to just add to your profile. So questions on that?
Nope, got that one.
Okay, cool. And also don't forget that this, just because I have it on my summary section, don't forget that you also want to do this inside of your experience section. And along that line, don't forget that your experience section also gives you 2,000 characters to use. So you'll see that, like, I don't gloss over my experience section. I want to be ranking to really get my profile to rank for certain keywords. I'm using my experience section to reiterate a lot of what I said in the summary here, because this is my current job or employment. But I have a list of the services that I offer, so I'm ranking for all these are kind of playing into the keyword ranking, and I'm taking advantage of the entire section here and not just writing a 1-sentence description of my job experience. And I do that intentionally from a keyword standpoint, because again, LinkedIn is a fully search engine biased platform, so we want to be ranked for whatever it is we want to be known for. So it's a great thing to reverse engineer. So when you know exactly what it is you want to be known for, you kind of reverse engineer that process. You research and find the keywords that people are already looking for, and then you put those into your profile. And then again, on every single piece of experience, you can add a rich media piece here. So at least have a link to whatever website goes to whatever company it is you work for or whatever company it is that you own. So you'll see on these, I just kind of have a link to my website, a link to my our sales video. So things like that. And then let's see here. So those are like the main topics I was going to cover today, but let's, we got plenty of time. So let's dive into, how about, are you guys interested in LinkedIn groups? Is that something you want to explore?
Yes.
Okay. So let's dive into that, because LinkedIn groups, from building your network out, it's one of the most powerful ways to quickly build your reach, especially if you're running the free LinkedIn platform. So keep in mind, I always say this, but if you're running the Sales Navigator, you don't need to focus on building out your network as urgently as you do if you're running the free version. But if you're running the free version, you really need to focus on one, you're going to want to connect with as many people as possible, because your ability to search out people and for them to search out you is very dependent on how big your network is and how far your reach goes. And then two, you're going to want to use these LinkedIn groups here, which will help you build your network a little bit faster. So for LinkedIn groups, there's a couple strategies that I'll talk about. Number one is, when we're joining LinkedIn groups as business owners, I highly suggest that the groups that you're joining are primarily targeted more towards your target market versus your peer group. Now, I usually do both, so it's okay to have to target your peer group as well. But you're definitely going to want to kind of reverse engineer, like, okay, if you know exactly who your target market is and who your ideal client is and what kind of business they are, if you can find a group of like-minded individuals that are where your ideal market is going to be hanging out, that's a much more powerful group than if I were to come to like a digital marketing group. Even though I'm a member of one here, and that's one of the more active groups online, I'm going to have much less success marketing my business inside of a digital marketing group where there's several people that are in the digital marketing business competing for attention than I would if I'm going to a specific niche environment. So if I, like, for instance, I could do digital marketing for a number of different companies, but if I wanted to target like lawyers or something like that, I would want to go, if I made that my number one priority and my number one customer avatar, then I'd want to be joining up with groups of lawyers, more importantly than with groups of digital marketing reps. Again, because I want to get my messaging in front of my target market rather than competing against my competition, right? Is that making sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I talk a lot about languaging your profile and then languaging your marketing towards your target market more so than towards anybody else. So again, let me kind of find a group here, because I have most of my most active. Let's see. So this is a community of startups, and this is kind of a mixed one, but generally speaking, startups are going to need some kind of either social media marketing or digital marketing or sales funnels. They're going to need some kind of online help. So this is an example of like a community that, for me, is kind of an appropriate community. Now, when you go into a group like this, as soon as you join a group, every single member of the group, so you'll see there's 652,036 members, will instantly enter into your second degree network. So we've talked about how the LinkedIn is based on your different degrees of networking. You have your first degree, your second degree, your third degree, and then beyond that. But if you join into a LinkedIn group, every single person there will instantly move into my second degree network. They're not going to be primary, but they're my second degree. So they become visible and they become searchable on LinkedIn. Whereas if you're running a free account and you're and they're outside of your third degree network, you can't even find those people if you don't have a wide network built out. So that's again one of the reasons why it's so important to build out your network on a free account, is that your visibility and your ability to search out other people is very, very limited until you start building this broad base of people. So that the fastest way to do that is to join groups that are relatively large, and then also to connect with those LinkedIn open networkers, which we spent some time talking about in the live event, and also at the I think we talked about that a little bit last week too.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Like for me, because like I click the thing for the group and they give you, because I said, like to, I guess, discover or something. So there's a list of, different groups, and they ask you, either not interested, asked to join. Now there's not one, I mean, obviously for casinos, but because I do want to work with event planners, would you suggest then that I would want to join groups like that?
Yeah, if you're wanting to create relationships with event planners and you feel like they're going to be good referral partners, then yes. Now, LinkedIn's kind of, they've changed their group format a little bit. Like Discover, it doesn't even give me a search option here. But
I was trying to do that. I wasn't able to.
Yeah, so if you go back to your homepage, and if I come up here and I search event planners,
Homepage.
I'm just going to go forward, searching event planners and hitting enter. Now I can come over here and you see where it says groups here. So now I can search groups, and then this is a way I could find groups of event planners. So here's like a party event business. Now, unfortunately, the groups are never geographically organized. So unless it's in the title. So if you might be a group, like Los Angeles event planners, you might be able to find that in the title, but you can't search based on geographic region in groups. But here, for an example though, so here you can find that they have 18,707 party event business group members. So I assume those are event planners. There's a lot of small groups here. And before you join these groups too, you want to do a little bit of research just to know that they're still active. Some of these LinkedIn groups are in like the LinkedIn graveyard, and they're dormant, and then, I mean, there's really no value in a dormant group. So, and you'll probably put out an application to join, and they'll never respond to you because nobody's using it. So, it's good to kind of just find out the ones that are most active and go from there. But if you want to search for groups, this is how you do it. You have to go through the traditional search, and you just come to the groups tab here. So it's kind of strange how they have a discover tab that you can't search through, but this is the workaround. So that's how you would search like this. And let's see here. And here's like Event Planners Association. I don't know what that is, but that might be something to look at for you too. I was gonna put in Los Angeles and just see if anything, nothing populates. So here's event planners and entertainment agents for dancers. That's not quite your thing though. It only has 12 people too. It's a small one. And just because the group's small doesn't mean it's not valuable. What we're really looking at is if it's active or not. So small groups can be very, very valuable. But ideally they have activity as to go with it. So this is how you would search that, and I'm going to come back into the groups. Now, just like with Facebook groups, I don't know how often you guys are using those too. Those are pretty powerful too for marketing purposes. every group has their own rules. So you're going to want to read up on the rules before you go in there. And if you're gonna solicit your business at all, you want to exercise a bit of caution, and you want to make sure you're playing by the rules. Generally, the rules really only apply to when you're soliciting for business. But if you're in there just communicating, looking to make, if you're looking to make referral partnerships and relationship building, that shouldn't you. It's really when you're trying to sell to people that that you might be violating the rules. So like here's the startup group right here, and it has the group rules right here. So I could just click on the group rules, and it'll give me what the rules are. And oftentimes, what will happen is I'm not sure what this one. I'll read through this in a second. But oftentimes, like in groups, they'll have a designated day. Like Thursday will be promotion day, where you're allowed to promote your business on Thursday or something like that. So as long as you're playing within the rules, then you're not going to get kicked out of the group or anything. I mean, it's not like if you're breaking the rules, you're risking being thrown out of the group, and you're losing the value from that. So so you do want to try to obey the rules as much as possible so that you're not getting kicked out. So this group, for example, looks like they're pretty against promotion, and you can see right here, the main rule is that content needs to be directly relevant to starting, growing, funding, scaling, managing, or marketing a startup company. Promotional content will be deleted, and repeat offenders will be warned and then removed. So not the end of the world if you get kicked out of a group, but not ideal either. So it hurts relationships and things like that. So ideally, you're playing by the rules, and then you're going in there. And in other groups, you'll find that they will allow promotional content at times. So play by the rules, and then also promote your business. And don't forget about the whole concept. Again, this is like groups are large communities of people. If you're using the techniques of inbound marketing, and you're coming at it from I'm going to give free value to these people up front, and don't underestimate the value of just giving out free value and then having them come back to you and like direct message you about your company or about your services, because you've positioned yourself in a way that you've provided so much value that maybe they want to use you professionally now. So that's one of the key strategies to any group, whether you're on LinkedIn or you're on Facebook. Because I do think that the LinkedIn and Facebook groups are very powerful marketing tools. Sometimes the Facebook groups have a little bit more activity, and I think the big reason on why Facebook groups tend to be a little bit more active than LinkedIn groups is the notification systems. Like every time somebody posts in a LinkedIn group, you have the option of being notified that they've posted. That'll pop up on your wall. But on LinkedIn groups, you pretty much have to manually come into the group to see if there's any updates. So you're never going to get those pop-up notifications. So
Right.
My theory is that that's one of the reasons why these groups on LinkedIn tend to be a little bit less active than on Facebook. But they still are valuable, and they still present you with a large audience that you can communicate with and get your message in front of. So I would say for all of you, if you're going to join these groups, come at it from a standpoint of inbound marketing, and provide value up front, or also come at it from a standpoint of relationship building. So like what Sukanya is saying, she wants to meet event planners because they can become referral partners. So if she has a lead that somebody's looking to book a casino party, potentially she could refer them other event type of business in the future, and then they can refer her the casino type of business. So it makes for if you have some kind of thing like that where you have valuable relationships, like don't be afraid to reach out to these people, connect with them, and position yourself to have success with the relationship and affiliate style marketing. So how are we doing here? Is this interesting? Is this relevant? We're getting value right now?
Very
Well,
much.
I know I am.
Okay, good.
Oh yeah, it's a whole new world to me.
Is that your dog, Nancy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see your dog sleeping or something.
You know, this is so valuable having the contact these sessions. So thank you so much for making yourself available.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I find it is, sometimes it's harder to sit and watch a pre-recorded video than it is to communicate with somebody in a live environment. So I do think it's valuable to have these calls. And even if we cover similar content that shows up in the course, it just adds another element to it. And in a week or two, it might be in 2 weeks, I'm going to reactivate the Sales Navigator account on here. And I'll be doing some live demos on one of those calls, either next week or the week after, to demo the Sales Navigator process. Because I think if you guys decide to take advantage of your free trials, because each of you gets a 30-day free trial if you haven't used it, or if you decide to purchase Sales Navigator, which is $79 a month, so it's not in everybody's budget, but it's a valuable tool. So I'll do that in a future call. Actually, I'll reactivate it on mine, and I'll demo the process. And what I'll actually do is I'm going to be using it to solicit business for my own company. So I'll just kind of show you exactly what I'm doing, exactly how I'm leveraging it for my business. Because I'm often what I do is I tend to go through like little campaign spurts. So I'll just kind of turn it on and off. I don't really keep it active. There's not a huge incentive for really keeping it active all the time. I'd rather just do the month to month and just keep it when I'm on like a campaign push. So we'll actually cover that on one of the live calls coming up, how to use the Sales Navigator features in the paid account. Okay, so it's already 7:55, so that went kind of quick. Any final questions for this week's call? Anything else that you think you'd like me to cover, or any ideas? Well, I guess we kind of. If you have any burning things that you'd like covered for next time too.
No, but if as we're working on this, if we get something, can we just email you?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, if you have something, go ahead and email to me, and I can prepare some content around it for the next call. That'll give me a little bit of prep time. So then it makes it a little easier than me. Like if I could hop on like SEMrush or something like that and do some more advanced research ahead of time instead of, because that does take up some time. So I don't want to spend too much. I don't want to spend too much of the call time like kind of doing that stuff. So that'd be great. Yeah. So feel free to email me, or you can go into that the Facebook group and post in there. Either way, but email me directly. We'll find. So I check my email many times a day, probably more than I should, but I'm always checking email. So.
I think we all do.
Yeah. I was just at an event last week with a bunch of high performance style coaches, and they're like, you need to check your email twice a day and never any more than that. But it's like, I just can't resist.
I can't, and I used to only just do it twice a day. Like, once I, get up, start the day, go through the emails, respond to everything.
Yeah.
And again, like towards the end of the day. But then I find that in like our business, it's kind of like phone calls. It's like if I don't get to them right away, they just move on to someone else.
Yeah, no, it's very true. Like if it's a potential client that's emailing you, and you take 3 or 4 hours to respond, that might be too much, and you have a limited window. So yeah, I think if you're a salesperson, it's pretty important to be responsive.
Yeah, so I'm always having to check mine all the time, because I've done that where I haven't been able to take a call, and I call them back, and I kid you not, 15 minutes later, they go, oh, we've already found somebody. In 15 minutes? But they did, because, someone else answered the call. I, unfortunately, was on another call and didn't get to it on time. So, so yeah, I have to check mine on a regular basis. So, but this was great. This was informative, and I gotta get my butt in gear this week. I kind of honestly slacked this week. I was working on some other stuff and kind of slacked on this. So I will get myself caught up, and I'm sure I'll have questions for you next week.
Yeah, and for you, Sukanya, too, don't be, think about starting to come up with some ideas for articles or for or content posts around the casino rental business. Like, here's an example of a guy that put, looking to hire a digital marketing firm. Be sure to ask these important questions. Like, you could create that exact same article for casino party rentals. Like, are you looking to host a casino party rental party? Like, be sure to ask these 10 questions, something like that, and you might get really good engagement. And then you could also, question 10 is, are you using Casino Kings? Or
Right. No. Okay, that was a question I was going to ask because I saw that on there where you can like writing the articles. I was wondering, I be doing that? Kind of like I'm going to be starting doing like going back to blogging again. So kind of use some of my blogging in my, kind of they would just cross each other over.
if you're doing blogging, I would suggest you do it on both platforms. So you do it on your web blog. And I would also post it as an article. You have you have two options. You could just grab the link from your blog and you could just pretty much paste it in here, and that would work. Or you could just come in here and click on write an article, and you could make a more traditional article that has and you basically just taking the text of your taking the text from your blog post, but you're creating an article around it, which is really just to keep it native on LinkedIn. It'll the more native you are on any of these platforms, the more views you tend to get.
Okay, so should I do it that way, or should I? Because right now I have it set up to where I can push, like I just do one blog post off of because we're on WordPress, and it's hooked up to like Buffer, where then you can have like up to I think like 3 or 4 different platforms you could push it out on.
Yeah.
Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter.
And that's actually a good point there. Yeah, you could do it either way. I think articles on LinkedIn tend to get a little bit more engagement because they get a bigger push from LinkedIn sharing it with your entire network. However, the convenience of it's not a huge difference though. It's not like a massive difference. So, and the convenience of something like Buffer is pretty valuable, and that can be. And essentially, it's still pretty effective. And I still get a significant chunk of engagement when I use Buffer and Q, and I have a module in the course about automating content curation, which means kind of leveraging other people's content for your posts. And there's a video in our course about it. There's my talk I did today, which is all grainy. I need to get a higher resolution image. Let me see here. But here's let me scroll down a bit. So here's these are all posted through it runs through Buffer and it runs through Q simultaneously. So QUUU.co. And Q, which again is spelled QUUU.co, will allow me to pick different categories, and then it'll find relevant content on the web, and it will let me it'll auto post that content onto my profile. And so what this does is it just helps me be more visible on LinkedIn. So essentially, it just my name is going to pop up more often. And we talk about the rule of 7 in marketing. Like somebody has to have 7 brand impressions before they're going to engage with you or buy a product from you. So This pushes my name out there more often. So I'm posting a lot of these things are this is all automated, and I average about 50 views. The average is about 50 views per post, sometimes higher, sometimes a little less, 46 there. And then if I post something and then I'll also post content like here. I was at a live event last weekend. High performance coaches I was just talking about. This is Forbes Riley. I posted a picture of me and her that got 334 views. I did a talk at the Camarillo Library about in June. So it was about a month ago, and that one I could probably find it in here, but that one got like almost 2,000 views. So,
wow.
So it tends to be that the ones that have your picture in them they perform a lot better. But this stuff is very valuable too, because it's keeping me in people's minds, and I'm keeping the awareness present. So we can talk about how to automate those two in another call. So I can kind of demo that process live over a call. It's also, you'll find it in the LinkedIn course. It's in one of the video modules. I actually show you exactly how to set that whole thing up.
Okay.
It's free too. I mean, they have a free and a paid version, but the one I'm showing you is free, and you can post, I think, up to 2 posts a day, I believe, using the free version. So, okay. So with that, we'll wrap up for this week, and then we'll be on next week at 7 o'clock. And again, so yeah, email me, Sukanya or Marla or Nancy, if you have any questions that you find while you're working on this stuff during the week that you want addressed in the call. Email me in advance. It'll help me kind of prep for the call, and then we'll address that stuff. We'll address it live on the call. You can, then I'll do it. You'll see the screen share, so you'll see me demonstrate it live. It just tends to make it, some people learn better to see it demoed on a live environment.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So we'll wrap up with that. So thank you again for coming, and I will see you all next week.
Thank you. Have a great week, everyone.
Thank
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye.